Isagi arrives at Blue Lock for the first time. He then receives his Blue Lock uniform as his name is being called. When looking at the uniform, he sees the number 299 on his sleeve and wonders what the number could mean. Still confused by everything, he reaches the inside of the building and searches for room Z. He enters the room and looks across at everyone in the dorm until a familiar face shouts over. Recognizing the voice, Isagi turns around to see he's paired up with Kira. They have a chat talking about how relieved they are to see someone that they know with all the confusion that's in the air. Isagi then goes to change, seeing Kunigami for the first time, who scares Isagi with his size. He walks around the room looking for his teammates until he comes across a sleeping kid who is dreaming about football. In the background, we can see a guy glazing Kira, calling him the jewel of Japanese soccer, to which Kira replies, "Thanks." We then meet this glazer, who introduces himself as Igaguri. However, little did Isagi know that this would be the man to unlock Isagi's ego. Isagi notices the number on Igaguri's sleeve is 300, meaning Igaguri is the weakest one here. Suddenly, a big screen appears where a man called Jinpachi Ego introduces himself. He goes on to talk about how the numbers on the sleeve are the player's ranks. After hearing this, Isagi panics as he realizes he's the second lowest rank there. However, Ego isn't done there, as he goes on to panic everyone by saying anyone who fails can no longer represent Japan for football, and he states that what is needed to succeed is ego. All of a sudden, a ball drops down from the ceiling, with Ego explaining that there is a game of football tag to be played, saying whoever is last will go home. Igaguri gets the ball at his feet, telling the others that it's no hard feelings, whilst the others are trying to process what they've heard. Igaguri heads straight for Isagi, as his reasoning is that Isagi has a low rank. Isagi and Kira talk, with Kira shouting how ridiculous this whole concept is and that he's only playing to prove Ego wrong. Kira rants to Isagi, whilst Igaguri is still looking for someone to hit until he finds a kid that is still asleep. The boy flips over and handstand kicks Igaguri in the face. This stuns Kunigami, as he's against anyone playing dirty. However, Igaguri takes this opportunity to hit Kunigami in the face with the ball. Enraged, Kunigami powers up a shot, cursing out Igaguri's name. He hides behind Isagi as the ball is let loose, striking Isagi in the stomach, knocking the wind out of him. Kira yells out for Isagi, as Isagi looks at the clock and sees there's only a minute left. Quickly, Isagi races around the room, trying to hit anyone he can. He thinks to himself that going for rank 300 would be the easiest way. Isagi tries to chase down Igaguri, but he keeps slipping away, which leads him to become frustrated. He grits his teeth, telling himself that he wants to win and that he can't lose. In the background, we can see the sleeping kid is now grabbing Kunigami, telling Isagi to shoot it at him whilst he's restrained. Kunigami promptly throws off the kid before Isagi could move, but the kid lands on Igaguri, injuring him, rendering him unable to move. Isagi then looks down on him whilst he begs for what seems to be his life, but pleads that he shouldn't hit him with the ball. Isagi thinks to himself that he can win this way, he can actually survive. However, he starts to second guess himself as he thinks that doing it will end Igaguri's footballing career. With only 21 seconds left on the clock, Isagi puts his foot on the ball and goes to strike it at Igaguri, thinking about making his own dreams come true. And this is the first time we get to see his ego. It starts to come out as his aura starts to radiate around him, with a detailed panel of Igaguri looking terrified. Isagi freezes. Has he given up? Does he not have an ego? Can he not send someone home? No. He says he's here to become the best in the world, thinking to himself that he can only do that by beating someone stronger than him. All of a sudden, the kid now we know is called Bachira runs in and steals the ball off Isagi. This leaves everyone shocked as Bachira hurdles towards a group of people with a grin on his face. Bachira starts focusing in on Kira as he's the highest rank there, shooting at him but narrowly missing. Instead, he then tries to kick Kira, but Kira ducks under his leg. Retrieving the ball, Bachira kicks it over at Kira again, however it looks like it's missed him by a lot, until we then see the panel where we can see a shocked look as it reaches Isagi with 3 seconds left on the clock. For the first time in the manga, we see the egoist eyes in Isagi as they manifest as he says that Kira is the strongest one here. He then smashes the ball with 3 seconds left in Kira's direction and straight into his face, wiping him out. Finally, he has awoke his true ego. Everyone is shocked at what just happened. With the final second left, Kira loses. Dripping from his nose, Kira asks Isagi what he's doing. And a subtle but great panel shows Isagi that he himself doesn't know why he hit the ball. The screen turns to Ego, screaming at Kira to get out as he's a loser. Kira loses his mind and goes into an uncontrollable rage on how this isn't fair. Ego goes on to explain how this is exactly like a penalty area situation with the ball bouncing around. He then goes on to tell Kira that he lacks the talent to be a striker, causing him to completely crash out and go at Ego. However, Ego continues to explain to him what he could have done. Ego, now bored with Kira, recognises Isagi and Bachira for showing their ego by going after the strongest player, telling them that's what he's searching for. Their ego is what he wants. We then get a scary panel of Kira gritting his teeth at Isagi, but Isagi doesn't seem to care as he feels so excited about everything that's just happened. Suddenly, he snaps back to reality and blames Bachira for making him send out his friend. But Bachira tells Isagi he knew he would kick the ball if he passed to him, purely from the looks on his face. The rest of the room still stare up at Ego, who continues to scare them all with his words and his menacing facial expressions. With the chapter finally coming to a close on Kunigami, Bachira and Isagi all looking excited for what's to come, with Isagi now realising his ego for the first time in the series. And that is how Isagi Yoichi unlocked his true ego for the first time in the series. Wow, what a chapter. I know it feels like years since you've read it, but it's so nice to look back and remember how nice Kira was and how Isagi destroyed him in the first game. If you liked the video, please go and like it down below and subscribe for more, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm push the video out. Comment your thoughts on the video down below and let me know how you felt seeing Isagi's ego for the first time.